The silence stretched after his confession. Heavy. Waiting. Because talking to you feels like breathing, and I've spent 4 years holding my breath. I should say something. Should acknowledge the raw honesty. Should respond with equal vulnerability. But my throat was tight. My mind blank. Because I understood exactly what he meant and had no idea how to admit that without betraying everything else. Kale watched me struggle, saw the panic building, and instead of pushing, instead of demanding an answer, he shifted, leaned forward with that easy energy that made everything feel less intense.
"Show me,"
he said, his eyes bright with fierce intellectual hunger that had nothing to do with the confession still hanging between us.
"Just a small weaving. Nothing dangerous. I want to see how your magic moves."
The shift was deliberate, obvious. A lifeline thrown to someone drowning. Relief flooded through me so strong it was almost embarrassing. I hesitated. Showing someone your raw technique felt intimate, exposed, like letting them see you naked. But he'd laid his entire soul bare 3 nights ago. Told me about killing his sister, about his father's disappearance, about the 12-year-old boy who wanted revenge wrapped inside a mission to save the world. Fair was fair. I extended my hand. Let black oil seep from my fingertips. It pooled in my palm briefly before transforming to rainbow threads. I wove them slowly. Nothing complex. Just basic patterns. Figure 8s and loops that any first year could manage. Kale caught my wrist before I could finish. His grip was gentle, careful, but firm enough that I couldn't pull away without making it obvious I wanted to. His thumb settled against my pulse point. I felt my heart hammering there. Knew he could feel it too. The transfer intensified immediately. Silver light bled into my channels. His ash flowing through the contact point with devastating ease. My ink responding, flowing into his system. The exchange perfectly balanced, utterly natural. Like our magic had been waiting for permission to move.
"Fascinating,"
he murmured, but he wasn't looking at the threads anymore. He was looking at my face, studying my expression with an intensity that made my breath catch.
"The way your magic moves?"
He continued. His voice had gone quieter, rougher.
"It's not like other binders. More intentional, precise."
His grip shifted slightly. Fingers tracing the black marks on my inner wrist where ink had started to form again after days without proper transfer. The touch sent shivers through me that had nothing to do with magic and everything to do with the man holding me.
"Beautiful, actually."
His thumb traced the edge of a mark.
"Like calligraphy."
The word hung between us. Beautiful. Not the magic. Not the technique. Something else. I looked up. Found him watching me with an expression I couldn't parse. Desire and fascination and something almost like wonder mixed together until I couldn't distinguish them. The transfer hummed between us. Low. Constant. Pleasant in ways that were becoming difficult to ignore. I should pull away, should end the contact, put safe distance between us. But I didn't want to. The realization hit with uncomfortable clarity. I wanted this. Wanted his hand on my wrist. Wanted the way he looked at me like I was interesting instead of just useful. Wanted the intellectual connection that made talking feel easy instead of calculated. Wanted him. The thought terrified me.
You understand what you're describing is theoretically impossible?
Kale said. His voice pulled me back.
I have reports from the Emperor's harem. Binders who don't dissolve from ink buildup, no matter how much they cast, who don't seem to accumulate byproduct at all.
His grip hadn't loosened. If anything, he'd pulled my wrist slightly closer. The transfer creating steady pleasure that made it hard to focus on his words.
But even they don't reverse transformation. They just prevent it. Indefinitely.
His eyes held mine.
You're doing something different. Actually reversing crystallization that's already progressed. That's beyond even what the Emperor's harem can do.
He leaned closer, intent radiating from him.
Which means you're either the most dangerous person in the Empire, or the most valuable. Possibly both.
He finally released my wrist, but his hand trailed across my palm as he pulled away. Slow. Deliberate. The loss of contact felt like something ending too soon. I pulled my hand back, curled my fingers into a fist to stop the trembling. My channels ached with the absence of his ash. How long since I was last with Dane? I couldn't quite remember after days and days of inadequate rotation transfers. And now, this brief taste of proper resonance. It made it worse. I wanted it. Needed it. Your intelligence network, I said. Changed the subject before I could do something stupid. You mentioned patterns, coordinated attacks. Kale studied me for a moment. Seemed to recognize the deflection for what it was, but he let it go. Reached for one of the maps spread across my table.
Right, so.
He traced routes with his finger.
Outbursts that shouldn't happen. Villages in core territory. Safe zones that have been stable for decades. Suddenly experiencing mid-order manifestations with Guardian-class entities.
I leaned forward to see the map better. Our shoulders touched. The contact sent another trickle of transfer through us. Background sensation. Pleasant. Addictive. Easy as breathing.
The timing is too precise.
Kale continued. He pulled out more documentation. Reports. Witness statements. Analysis.
Attacks happen in clusters. Coordinated strikes across multiple locations within hours of each other. That's not random chaos. That's strategy.
You think someone is orchestrating them?
I think someone is weaponizing chaos events.
His finger tapped a particular location.
This village. Polyp incident 3 months ago. 70% casualties. Standard response team arrived too late.
He moved to another pin.
This one. Guardian class manifestation. 200 dead. Response team redirected at the last moment due to communication error.
He looked up, met my eyes.
And this one.
His finger landed on a location that made my stomach clench.
The village you survived. Polyp outbreak in safe territory. Warning systems mysteriously failed. No advance notice. No containment protocols activated.
You think that was deliberate?
I think it's statistically impossible for 3 separate safety systems to fail simultaneously in a region that hasn't seen chaos activity in 40 years.
His voice went hard.
Someone wanted that village infected, wanted the response delayed, wanted maximum casualties and chaos spread.
Why?
That's what I don't know.
Frustration bled through his careful control.
Testing, destabilization, distraction from something else. I've been building this network for years and I still can't see the full pattern.
I studied the map. All those pins, all those deaths. The weight of it pressed against my chest. What does this have to do with the Emperor?
Everything.
Kale pulled out another document.
Every coordinated attack happens in territories that petition for additional wall reinforcement afterward. Every cluster of random outbursts creates political pressure for expanded defense spending, and every expansion of imperial authority happens after these events destabilize local governance.
He leaned forward. Our faces close now, intent radiating from him like heat.
The Emperor consolidates power through crisis, always has. But if he's creating the crisis himself...
He stopped, started again.
If he's weaponizing chaos to justify expansion of his authority, then everything we think we know about the war against the Deadlands is wrong.
I wanted to argue. Wanted to say it was speculation without proof. But the evidence spread across my table told a different story. You can't prove he's behind it, I said.
No, but I can prove the patterns exist, that someone with resources and authority is orchestrating coordinated attacks.
His jaw clenched.
And the Emperor has both resources and authority in unlimited supply.
We argued then. You can't prove causation from correlation, I said, tapping the map where pins clustered. Multiple outbursts in the same region could just be geological. Weaknesses in the fabric of reality that manifest together.
For 40 years they didn't manifest.
Kale pulled out another report.
Same geological conditions, same distance from the Deadlands, but zero incidents until 6 months ago. What changed?
Imperial patrols were reduced. Less magical presence to stabilize.
Patrols were reduced because border security increased elsewhere.
He spread more documents.
Look at the deployment records. Forces were moved north 3 weeks before the first outburst. Someone knew where to pull defenses from.
I studied the timeline. He was right. The pattern was too clean. That could still be coincidence. Poor planning.
3 separate regions?
His voice rose. Not angry, passionate.
3 separate command chains, all making the exact same poor planning decision within days of each other? And all 3 regions experiencing catastrophic outbursts within weeks?
You're seeing conspiracy where there might just be incompetence.
I'm seeing evidence.
He jabbed at the documentation.
Hard numbers, deployment schedules, response times, all of it pointing to coordination.
Pointing to, not proving. I met his eyes. You have correlation. Suspicious timing. But you don't have proof someone orchestrated it. You don't have orders. You don't have communications. He paused, grinned suddenly.
You're right.
The admission surprised me.
I don't have definitive proof,
He continued.
but I have enough evidence to justify investigation, enough pattern to warrant suspicion.
He leaned forward.
What would you need to see? What would prove coordination to you?
I thought about it. Actually considered the question instead of just defending my position. Communications between command chains, I said slowly. Orders that originated from the same source. Evidence of deliberate misdirection in response protocols.
What if those communications were destroyed? What if the orders were verbal?
Then you can't prove it.
But does that make it less true?
His eyes were bright, sharp.
If someone is smart enough to hide the evidence, does their guilt disappear?
No, but you can't act on suspicion alone. You need...
I need what the evidence is telling me.
He gestured at the spread maps.
Multiple coordinated attacks, systematic response failures, political consolidation following every crisis. That's not random. That's strategy.
Or it's you seeing patterns because you want them to exist. I said it gently. Because you need someone to blame for your sister. Your father. He went very still. I'd gone too far. Crossed a line. But then he smiled. Sad. Honest.
Maybe.
He admitted.
Maybe I am seeing patterns because I need answers. Because randomness is harder to fight than conspiracy.
He met my eyes.
But that doesn't make the evidence wrong. Just means I have to be more careful about interpretation.
He pulled the maps closer. studied them with renewed focus.
You're right to push back.
He said.
I need someone who questions my assumptions, who demands better proof.
He looked up.
Thank you for that.
The gratitude was genuine. No ego wounded, no defensiveness, just honest appreciation for being challenged. When was the last time someone thanked me for disagreeing with them? When was the last time I'd enjoyed disagreeing with someone? When had debate felt fun instead of threatening? Cale grinned when I cornered him with logic, admitted freely when I was right. Never let ego get in the way of truth. Just kept pushing back with genuine intellectual engagement that made me want to match his intensity with my own. At some point, he'd moved his chair closer to share a map. Our shoulders pressed together. The constant low-level transfer had become background sensation. Present, but not demanding. Just there. Humming between us like a third presence in the room. He reached across me to point at a location on the far side of the map. His arm brushed my chest. We both froze. The contact was brief, accidental, but the transfer spiked immediately. Sharp pleasure flooding through channels already sensitized from sustained connection. My breath caught, my body responding before my mind could stop it.
Sorry,
Cale said. His voice had gone quieter. That easy charm giving way to something more raw.
Bit close there.
But he didn't move away immediately. His arms still resting across my space. His face turned toward mine. We were suddenly inches apart, close enough that I could see gold flecks in his eyes. Close enough to feel his breath on my lips. Close enough that leaning forward would be the easiest thing in the world. His eyes dropped to my mouth, then back up. The desire in his expression was naked, undisguised. I could kiss him. Should kiss him. My body wanted to kiss him, but I pulled back instead, stood abruptly, nearly knocked over my chair. Heart hammering so hard it hurt. I should... The words tumbled out. Wrong. Uncontrolled. Completely unlike my usual precision. It's late. I should...
Right. Yeah, late.
Cale stood too. Started gathering documents with hands that weren't quite steady.
Should let you rest.
He moved toward the door. All that easy confidence stripped away. Just a man trying very hard not to show how affected he was. At the door he paused, looked back. His expression was complicated. Desire and respect, and something almost like sadness warring beneath the surface.
I know you're not ready to trust me completely,
He said.
That's smart. I'm patient.
His grin turned self-aware. Vulnerable underneath in ways that made my chest ache.
Well, relatively patient for someone whose sister was murdered by chaos and whose father was disappeared for getting too close to the truth. But I can wait a bit longer. Yeah?
He met my eyes directly. For once there was no charm, no deflection, just honesty.
And Liv, I want your power desperately. I won't lie about that, but I also just want...
He stopped. Seemed to struggle with words for the first time since I'd met him.
I also just want to know what you think about things. What you'd choose if you had real choice. What makes you laugh?
He shrugged. The smile twisting into something more genuine.
Selfish maybe, but there it is. Fair's fair, yeah?
Then he was gone. The door clicking shut behind him. I stood in the middle of my room, staring at the empty space where he'd been. My heart still racing. My channels still humming with his ash. I moved to the chair he'd vacated, still warm with his body heat. sat down heavily. When was the last time someone asked what I thought beyond tactical necessity? When had someone cared what made me laugh? When had anyone looked at me like I was interesting rather than just useful? The guilt crashed over me immediately. I had Dane. Loved Dane. Shouldn't be sitting here feeling seen by someone else. Shouldn't be replaying the moment our faces were inches apart. Shouldn't be wondering what would have happened if I'd leaned forward instead of pulling back. But the warmth in my chest wouldn't fade, and when I finally went to bed, I dreamed of green eyes with gold flecks and hands that transferred magic with devastating ease. 3 days later, a letter arrived from Dane. I recognized his handwriting on the envelope. That precise script. Every letter carefully formed. I tore it open, standing in the hallway where the runner had delivered it. The words hit like cold water. Liv. Something's wrong here. The training is too specific. Too focused on techniques that seem designed for something beyond standard deployment. They're preparing us for something. I don't know what. The instructors won't say. But several cleavers have been pulled for special assignment and haven't returned. No one will explain where they went. I'm trying to gather information carefully, but the security is tighter than Academy ever was. Be careful. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. I love you. I need you to remember that, no matter what comes. Dane. I read it twice. Alarm bells ringing with every word. Something was wrong. Dane wouldn't write like this unless he was genuinely concerned. The carefully controlled tone couldn't hide the warning underneath. I went to my desk immediately. Started writing back. Dane, be careful. Don't draw attention. Don't volunteer for anything. Protect yourself first. Whatever they're preparing for, you don't have to be part of it. You can refuse assignments. You can... I stopped. Crossed out the last line. Dane couldn't refuse. Wouldn't refuse. If they ordered him into danger, he'd go. That's who he was. I started again. Please be cautious. Don't stand out. Just survive until we can be together again. I love you. I need you safe more than I need anything else. Liv.
Letter from your cleaver, yeah?
I spun. Kale stood in the hallway behind me, reading my expression with unnerving accuracy.
Bad news?
I hesitated, wanting to tell him, wanting to keep it private. The conflict visible enough that he saw it immediately.
The Mastery Island program.
He said. Moved closer. His voice dropping to something more serious.
I've heard things. Nothing concrete. But several students sent there have been redirected to classified assignments. Boundary wall reinforcement, supposedly.
His eyes sharpened. Intent. Focused.
Except the casualty reports don't match deployment records.
He paused. Let that sink in.
Whatever they're preparing for, it's bigger than routine defense. And your Dane is exceptional enough to be noticed.
The implication hung between us. Heavy. Terrible. Dane might be in more danger at the supposedly safe training program than I was hiding at Thornhaven. I looked down at my unfinished letter. At the inadequate words that couldn't protect him. Couldn't keep him safe. I added a postscript. Please be careful. Don't volunteer for anything. Don't stand out. Just survive until we can be together again. I sealed it before I could second-guess myself. Handed it to the waiting runner with instructions for immediate delivery. Kale watched me, silent, present. Not offering comfort, but not leaving either.
He'll be all right.
Kale said finally.
Dane's smart, cautious. He'll see the danger coming.
You don't know that.
No,
He met my eyes. Honest.
but I know the type. Ashforges don't die easy. They're too paranoid, too careful.
He paused. Something shifted in his expression.
And he has you to come back to. Any man would do whatever it took to return to.
He stopped. Corrected himself with that self-aware twist of a smile.
To someone like you. Someone worth surviving for. Yeah?
It should have been comforting. It wasn't. That night I lay awake staring at the ceiling, terrified of two things equally. That something would happen to Dane before I saw him again, and that the guilt of feeling anything for Kale meant I didn't deserve Dane, even if he did come back safely.